Assalamu alaikum everyone. So I've had a few questions on my Instagram account in relation to Ramadan. Obviously it's going to be really hot, really long days, and trying to maintain a healthy diet across the month. And of course, like particularly with Slimming World, does it work during Ramadan? So I thought I'd do a quick video just to cover all of that. For anyone that doesn't know, Muslims worldwide observe Ramadan. It's the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and it's the month of fasting. So from sunrise to sunset, we cannot have any food or water. Not just fasting of the mouth, it's also fasting of the tongue. So, you know, you shouldn't be rude, you shouldn't answer back, you shouldn't swear, all of those things. And there's a few other things that you have to abstain from as well. So it's not just about food, but I think, you know, trying to be healthy during Ramadan is really beneficial to help us carry out all the other duties we should in that month, because we feel better in ourselves. So in terms of getting closer to Allah, being able to pray, being able to focus better when we're reading the Quran, I do feel like if you're healthier in yourself and not full of fried and fatty foods and feeling very lethargic, that will help you across the month to increase your deen. So I just want to start by saying Slimming World is very doable across Ramadan. The only difference really is you miss your lunch, so you're still having your breakfast, you're still having your dinner. I would highly recommend that you wake up for Sahur. I know a lot of people just wake up, have a glass of water and go back to sleep. That won't work, because then by the time you get to Iftar, you're going to be so hungry, you're going to end up eating a lot, or even if you don't, your body's just going to hold on to everything, because your body will be starving inside even if you feel like you're doing okay. So I would say the first thing is make sure you wake up for Sahur. Do it right, don't rush it, don't be half asleep. Set your alarm so you've got enough time to pray properly, to read a bit of Quran if you can, obviously to make a good enough breakfast. So you've got to treat Sahur just like your breakfast, except obviously it's got to last you longer in terms of what you eat and sustain you. So personally, I'd have your healthy extra A and B options, which is your calcium and fibre allowance at Sahur. I just feel like they would sustain you for longer. So I'd have porridge with fruit, I'd have toast with a cheese omelette, those kinds of options that can really help fill you up. If you are really tired and you don't think you can physically wake up and eat something quite heavy, then overnight oats is a really good option. You can make it the night before. So for those of you that don't know, it's basically a layer of yogurt, a layer of oats, a layer of yogurt, another layer of oats and a layer of yogurt. I mean, you can do as many layers as you want, that's up to you. Obviously make sure you measure out your oats allowance, because you get 40 grams, and then you top that in the morning with fruit, banana, that kind of thing. So you literally just wake up, eat that. Because it's a cold dessert and it's quite hot in the summer, that's quite easy to stomach. So the way I'm planning to do it is, when I've got work the next day, I'm just going to prep an overnight oat for Sahur. When it's a Sunday morning, for example, so we haven't got much on that day, those days I think I'm going to try to wake up and do a really good breakfast for the family. So it will be something like a cooked breakfast, or even, you know, omelette with toast, that kind of option. So with Iftar, I'd use your sins on having your 2 or 3 dates. They come up as 1.5 sins each, but then for example, majul dates can go up to 3 sins. I mean 25 grams, I'm not sure what that weighs, but that's 1.5 sins. And also, I don't know if a lot of people are aware, they've now added dates as a healthy extra B allowance. So if you don't have that for breakfast, then you can have it instead on your dates, which I think is a very worthwhile option. Or if you haven't used your healthy extra A allowance, so for example, in the morning you're having overnight oats, so you're not using your cheese or your milk allowance, then another really good thing is after your dates to have a glass of cold milk. I know a lot of people think, can't take that, but actually when I was initially breastfeeding Inaya, you get a ridiculous healthy extra allowance. So I think I had 3 A's and 3 B's, and have a glass of milk with 2 or 3 dates, and it just really helped sustain me. I felt so good and full after that for a very long time. I'm the first person where my husband and my son is already going on and on about Iftar and, you know, do we buy all the fried stuff, and it's like, they love it. That's part of their highlight of Iftar, so I would feel a bit guilty not to do it at all. But what I've decided is I'm going to keep that for the weekends. So usually if we go around to families' houses, that's at weekends, and what I'm going to do is, if we don't, then make the effort for Iftar to give them their fried foods, and, you know, have it myself as well, because it is classed as a bit of a treat. You know, we've grown up with our parents doing the whole shebang for us over Iftar, so, you know, I can appreciate that. But keeping it to weekends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a meal plan. I'll put it up on Instagram. It only takes like half an hour, but I think sharing that with the family so they know what's coming, and they don't, when it gets to, you know, close to iftar time, they don't start encouraging the fried foods, because I'm usually so hungry by that stage. If I don't know what I'm having, I just think, oh, forget it, I'll just have the fried foods. It is really, really, really crucial that your suhoor and your iftar you plan. I just can't emphasize enough how much of a difference that will make to your whole week of fasting. So I think I'm going to count the iftars on Saturdays and Sundays as cheat meals, ideally once a week, but we'll see how we go. And Monday to Friday, I'm going to be really organized, really prepped, and note down exactly what I'm having and make sure I have the food in. So the days I go to work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to make sure I'm making really quick and easy things, even if it's like tuna mayo pasta or Cajun chicken with chips, just stick it in the air fryer. And then like Fridays and Mondays when I'm home, I'll make a bit more effort. For example, sin-free chicken biryani. But what I'll do is I'll put my meal plan up so you can see exactly what I've got planned across the week. Just have lots of fruit in for iftar, guys. It will just help you feel so refreshed, so good. Remember, in this heat, if you're eating loads of fried stuff, eating lots of fatty stuff, eating lots of sugary stuff, it's not going to do you any good. You're just going to feel really tired, and you're going to feel really horrible on the inside. And actually just really, you know, we always aim to have a healthy Ramadan, but it then kind of wears off after the first week, and I think that's because of a lack of planning. I think if we promise ourselves this Ramadan that we're going to plan our food so that we don't have to worry about that and we can focus on everything else Ramadan should be about, it will help so much. So you break your iftar with your date, your water, and a glass of milk if you have the healthy extra allowance. And then for iftar, you would have a sin-free or, you know, minimal sin meals. It's fine because you get 15 sins across the day. You're hardly going to use that for suhoor, so you can just use it for iftar instead. Sin-free curries, I would encourage that. So just having rice and curry as an iftar as well, because that kind of will last you for more than a day. It's actually a really convenient option to do when you're more available, and then it can set you up for the next day or two. Some things that we forget to remind ourselves is ideally it needs to be a third food, a third water, and a third air. When you fasted the whole day and then at the end you just overload yourself on iftar and you just end up not leaving any space for water, forget the air kind of thing, it just all ends up being food. Both suhoor and iftar, I would highly recommend you try to have at least half a litre to 1 litre of water for each of those. People often get dehydrated, it's such a long day not to eat or drink anything, and it's so hot as well. It's really important you have your water to avoid the headaches, the dizziness, and just feeling extra tired. That all comes as a result of just feeling dehydrated. It's water way more than food. One really important factor I think is ensuring you're having a third speed with every meal. Please keep that up, because it will help you not to kind of feel really bloated. It's a really important rule that people forget. So everyone remembers with Slimming World, oh, you get free food allowance, as much potato, as much pasta, but people forget actually you can have as much as you need, not as much as you want. And also a third of that free food meal has to be speed. So that's certain veg and fruit. If you look in your book, it will list them all out. Or if you Google, you know, Slimming World speed foods. So you've got to make sure, you know, if you're having pasta, a third of it is salad. You've got to make sure if you're having your porridge in the morning, you know, you mix that up with some pear. If you're invited to someone's house, it is very easy to kind of get very carried away. So you do always have a choice according to Slimming World. One is that no, you stay in control. There's always options that you can have, such as fruit salad. You can bring a healthy option yourself when you get invited to someone's house. So you can have fruit salad, jana jab, that's always quite a good option. Or you can be flexible, so you can think, okay, well, a pakora is this many sins, so I'm gonna have 2 of those, I'll have 1 of those, and, you know, add up the sins, and then think, actually, I'm only doing this Saturday, Sunday. I get 15 sins each day, so I'll add it up across the week, and then if I go above on a Saturday and Sunday, Monday to Friday, I'll go lower, and then make it up across the week. So that's probably the recommended one from me, and it's the most practical, because realistically, you know, you don't want to think I'm going to be 100% on plan and then when you go off track you think, oh, I've stuffed up, and then it ruins your whole week. The third option is just to think, do you know what, I want to eat what I want for those days, and that's okay too. It might work for some people, so long as you can draw the line. So long as you say Saturday, Sunday, I'll eat whatever I want for iftar, but then Monday to Friday, I'm drawing a line and I'm being really good. So you don't count what you have over the weekend, you can overindulge, but you make sure Monday to Friday, you're fully back on plan. You've got to decide which of those three options work better for you. So with exercise, I would say what I'm doing at the moment, T25, which is 25 minutes of high intensity interval training. That works very well for me. For you, you need to go with how much exercise you do at the moment, how you feel during Ramadan, if you think you can cope with exercise. I'm probably going to take mine down, so I only do 4 days a week at the moment. I might take it down to 3 days during Ramadan. I'll see how I go. Now, I would say the optimum time to do it is when you wake up for Sahur. So you set your alarm, so you do your workout, have a shower, read Quran, have Sahur, pray, and you just feel like it's been a really productive hour and a half. So sometimes I feel like people that sleep through Sahur end up feeling more tired across the day because you don't feel productive. You feel like your whole day is just being about sleep and being really tired and having to force yourself to wake up. Whereas if you just accept the month of Ramadan as being one to increase our deen and to be as productive as we can, and of course to be healthier, then all those little things about waking up an hour earlier or getting things done, it will actually make your whole day so much better because you're just going to feel really productive. You'll go to sleep with a really focused mind, you'll feel good on the inside, and then you wake up and you're ready for the day. What I'm planning to do is exercise on the weekends, and on the days that I'm off work, I'll see how I feel, but no pressure. Another option which I used to do is after Sahur we'd go for a really nice walk, and that's actually something you can do with your kids, with your husband. It's a really nice way at that time to just get some fresh air, spend time with the family and actually help digest your iftar, almost prep your body for tarawih, kind of warm the body up for a long prayer. So the other option is to do it after iftar. You have to wait at least 1.5 hours. So I'd try and focus exercise on days when your workload is a little bit lighter, like the days I have to drop the kids to nursery in the morning, go to work, come back, pick the kids up, and I'm with them all evening because hubby doesn't finish work and get home till 9. I'm not going to work out. It's fine, that's just how it is. One thing I noticed is we really tire ourselves out having to cook lots of stuff for iftar, and that's not the purpose at all. So if you plan the food right, you keep yourself hydrated when you're not fasting, you work out and try and stay productive across the month in terms of increasing your deen, trying to be healthier, your month will go so much better, and you really feel like you've benefited from the month, both in yourself physically but also spiritually and mentally. So I think that's everything. I really don't think we should overcomplicate it. I don't think there's any special rules that come in across Ramadan. You are meant to focus on increasing your deen, and your food aspect shouldn't take over the whole month. You're just missing a meal, so that's the sense of fasting, instead of you have to have luxury foods, you have to have big feasts. That's not what the purpose is. You're not meant to focus on all day, oh, what am I going to prepare for iftar? So I'll put my meal plan up and that will show you exactly what I'm having across the week as a good example. I would say, of course, if you're breastfeeding, if you have any medical requirements, you have to consult your doctor and not try to follow any plan, particularly during Ramadan. And if you have any other specific questions, please do put them in the comments and I'll try to respond as best I can. Of course, I'm not a consultant, I'm only a member, but I can check it with my consultant and try to respond with a bit more detail. So inshallah, I hope you all have an amazing Ramadan that helps bring you closer to Allah. Also, you stay healthy and productive over the month, so you actually feel like you've benefited in all aspects. Do leave any comments if anything was unclear or if you'd like more information. Assalamu alaikum.